for that hero. I'm over Oracle.
Well, let's have a
or
look
I guess
here.
actually, Fly and Jerax both play SD, so I guess it depends on what the second support's going to
Yeah,
do.
they definitely can switch around. I find that's kind of similar to both of the team supports. They've got those heroes that, you know, if they feel it works best for the draft, they can switch around their responsibilities. But EG, keeping it cool, keeping it similar to what we saw for the first two. A little bit of a different order, picking the Axe up a little bit earlier. But indeed, Axe, once again, is going to be the play. I mean, the question is, you see the Axe. We obviously saw in last game how well kind of Axe Ursa worked in terms of jumping and killing someone. Do you ban out an Ursa if you're OG? Are you scared of the RTZ Fuzzy Wuzzy?
I think Shadow Demon is amazing against Ursa.
Yeah,
you can
that's
purge
enough.
him, you can disrupt. Yeah, it's strong. I think if I'm OG, I'm worried about maybe Omni still because EG just seemed to pick the hero like,
every game.
They literally pick it, Io and Omni together, and I think that the Axe Omni is maybe even more scary than the Ursa Axe because the Omni pretty much gives you an insane amount of burst, and it also keeps the Axe alive at the same time. So with the Naga ban, it leads me to believe that they will probably be leading towards Omni again if it's available.
Yeah.
Because
but
I feel like
OG might ban it here.
Yeah, they might ban it. It depends.
I mean, I guess the Jug can build a defusal, so...
Yeah, you would have Diffusal Blade and you would have Shadow Demon together.
Yeah.
But the thing about Omni that you can't really stop is the idea of Blink Initiation plus Purification, and that's what makes it super scary. Because if you make a Diffusal and you get Blink called by an Axe and you have no survivability items and your Disruption's not there, you're just dead. Like, you just explode. So, it depends on if OG want to deal with that or not.
Let's see what they are most scared of, OG here. Taking their time as well. It's a big game, you know, being knocked down in game 2. They need to try and pull themselves back together. Take down EG here in this game 3. Let's have a look. Is it going to be removing the Omni? Or are they more worried just about RTZ and Samael's hero pool? Trying to shut that down. Obviously, we can see already pretty much 3 straight up Samael bans. It's going to be a forfeit. They are banning Samael. I mean, do you feel that's the way to go playing against EG? Is it right to be that scared of Samael on these heroes?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously very talented, but I think it's also more worrying about, like, by banning the partner heroes with Omni, you're also kind of making the Omni weaker at the same time. Because Storm Omni is a patented combo, so is the PA Omni. Those heroes are probably the 2 best in terms of cores to put with it, but yeah. I think it's a really good idea still. And Sumail obviously is one of the best Storm players in the world, just bar none. I think it's been banned every single game against EG so far. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, I think that OG's opening this time is a bit more flexible. They don't have to necessarily worry about like this mid-game timing anymore because they took away the Huskar. They've tailored their bans in a way that allows them to actually play Dota. Where in the last game, I feel like they were more playing EG's Dota instead of playing their own, which can always be a problem because you're not quite hitting your item timings right. You're trying to overreact to stuff that EG are doing instead of worrying about your own game plan. And we saw how Ana couldn't even finish 2 items before the game was over, and it lasted like 28 minutes.
The Ricky from OG.
This is an amazing hero against Io. Like, it is so frustrating playing against a Ricky as Io.
Okay, and I mean, with that picked up, is it expected to be Fly, Shadow Demon, and then Jerax, Ricky?
I would assume so, yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, EG, let's see what they do about this. They've got a Ricky in the mix now. How do they want to deal with this pick from OG? Are they going to continue down the same line as we did see indeed in the previous series? Omni is still there. I guess Omni's kind of good against Ricky. Is it in the sense that, you know, whoever Ricky goes on with the cloud, as long as it's not you can...
Yeah, that's the thing. As long as it's not you.
Yeah.
If it's you, you kind of just flop over and you're like, all right, well... it can be a little bit annoying, but I just feel like EG's going to wait a really long time and then just pick Omni anyway. I just feel like that's what they're going to do because that's what they did in the first game. They took like their whole time and then they just, we'll pick Omni. But this is a much harder Omni game than the previous ones, I would say. Just based on them actually being able to kill the Omni Knight straight up, which sometimes can be a problem.
Let's see. They are certainly going deep into their reserve time bank. EG, is it indeed going to be the Omni or will they switch it up? Something different. And it is going to be something different. Taking the Earth Spirit for themselves this time. So I imagine that will put Zai's responsibilities onto the Eye and you have Crit play the Earth Spirit? Or do you put Zai on the Earth Spirit? I mean, do you think you switch around?
I think it's Crits or Spirits probably better.
Yeah, I'd imagine. And Zai can play the IO, you know, amazingly. So
yeah,
it feels more natural that way. Yeah.
But this is interesting.
Oh, the Magnus Jug combination from ages. You know, this is something that we've seen a lot of people do in the past, and of course with Ricky as well, there's potential. I mean, this is a fun lineup from OG. This is, I mean, it's a fun lineup from EG as well. This is going to be a fun game 3. You know, both teams kind of deviating away from what we've started to expect in this kind of post-TI phase.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Jug Mag, but don't forget about the Mag Ricky either, because Tricks of the Trade with Empower, you get like 1 or 2 items. That does some serious damage.
And I guess the thing to talk about as well is, here it's, I mean, you don't expect Anna Knight. This is probably going to be an offlane Magnus, isn't it? From S4.
That's what I was kind of pondering too. Are they actually going to put him on a hero like Mag mid? Because now it seems like with that pickup of Timbersaw that they were kind of assuming that it was going to be a mid, because that's Sumail's hero, right?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Timbersaw's against any of the heroes right now of OG, maybe barring the Jug. They could be assuming that it's Jug mid, so they have the Jug versus Timber matchup, and then Mag offlane with Roaming Ricky and then Shadow Demon +1 bottom. But I feel like it's a little bit greedy, especially considering what EG are running right now, because they can definitely take the fight to you in the early game. Especially once, you know, IO hits 6 or Spirit hits 6. Oh yeah, you're gonna be running at them more or less. So I'm just as curious as you. I wonder how they're gonna round this out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly hoping for some S4 Magnus. It's gonna be quite the spectacle. I mean, Slut, final ban from OG, so obviously EG still looking towards Arteezy's hero. And Slark, obviously being one of those heroes that can kind of play around a Jug core, you know. Also, I mean, RP, that can certainly not necessarily be an issue if you don't get the timing perfect with the Magnus because of that Dark Pact. And a little bit of a slippery bugger for SD to deal with as well.
I feel like Sven's not too bad here for EG.
Yeah?
Sven's a naturally good matchup against Jug. He's super tanky. They're going to go ahead and ban out the AM. Oh, they're going to go Morph. Okay. Morph is good too. For the same reasons, really. You're just really tanky. The Jug can't really kill you. You just wanted a core that would be able to deal with things like Omni Slash, be able to split push, and Morphling might do the split pushing job a tiny bit better than Sven because his survivability from ganks is probably on another level. But I like the AM ban especially. Their heroes during the mid late game would just simply not have enough to kill. Like you would have to rely on like getting a perfect blink call and everything else on top of that. So yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
The offlane Mag.
Yep, no tail on the Jug, and indeed S4 taking that Magnus to the offlane. And over on the side of EG, Sumail on the Timber. And of course, as we expect, Arteezy Morphling, Universe Axe. Crit will indeed be not playing the IO this game. They'll let Zai do that, as Crit will sit on the Earth Spirit. So, game 3, I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, EG have that Morphling. We saw, obviously, in game 2, a Morphling pick not work out. Obviously, that was for OG. Are EG in a much better place to bring the Morphling pick to the forefront and bring it out this game against OG's lineup?
I think that it's very dangerous going late game against OG no matter what. Like, their heroes just have this scaling where Empower plus, you know, Tricks of the Trade, Empower plus Omni and Juggernaut in general, there's always going to be that chance to where you just get out of position for too long and S4 hits you with an RP and you just instantly lose the fight. That's the one thing about like Magnus plus melee core lineups that I always look to and say, it doesn't matter what stage in the game it is, it's just going to happen at one point and you're going to get crushed.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think that EG have a good draft, and I definitely think that they have the heroes to win, but they need to be pressuring a lot. Feels very similar to how game number 1 was for them. Just making sure that they're doing the right things at the right time, getting map control, preventing this Empower Juggernaut from farming away. And if they can do that, then yeah, they have a shot.
Absolutely, a lot of eyes on S4 this game. I'm sure a lot of people at home will be looking forward to seeing him play the Magnus for OG. And especially in a lineup like this, as you said, just so many ways that they can work around and follow through on top of a good RP that could be potentially devastating for EG. But at the same time, you know, EG can pull it out. They've got that Morphling. on Arteezy. And again, Universe, we've seen him perform an absolute top class already this series on the Axe. And we just need him to do it again for the side of EG if he is able to pull through the side here. And a little bit of a change up, of course. Zai on the IO, Crit playing the Earth Spirit. So game 3 between these two monsters of a teams, it really is going to be quite something. And a game as well that I feel that this is less likely than game 1 and 2 to start being incredibly kind of, fall off one-sided. Both teams have lineups to bring themselves back in off the back of a good fight, haven't they?
Yeah, I would say so. I think a lot of EG's lineup is going to depend on, well, Crit obviously not dying. That would be a good start. Alright, getting kind of low there. Unfortunately, level 1 spin there for no-tail. But, yeah, I do think that both teams have that kind of comeback potential and the wombo combo kind of stuff. Like, Blink Call into Timbersaw damage and whatnot with the Earth Spirit can be devastating. Same thing for the RP and the Juggernaut Omni. But I'm kind of thinking, like, if it goes ultra late, I just can't really see EG being able to find the proper fights when you always have to worry about power and such.
Maybe getting a little greedy here. He came back out on low health to get that ward down. The block from Jerax and Crit, he's gone.
Nice.
That's first blood for the roaming Ricky. A nice bit of gold in there, straight up for the roaming support. Great way for Jerax to start the game. And I mean, the ward's down, but OG will know about it. And Crit, yeah, just going for a bit of a greedy play there.
Yeah, I think that when you're a support like that and you lose all your health in the beginning gank and you don't have a salve, you typically just want to go back to base, but I think more than anything else, he just wanted to try to get ward salve. But unfortunately, trying to get that ward placement beforehand just ended up getting him killed. On the bright side, he will find the obs ward here from OG. So easy peasy. But yeah, the way that EG are playing this early game is actually more on the greedy side. And I'm surprised that, Universe starts jungle when he knows that he's playing against a roaming Ricky. Although I suppose he did reveal himself when he killed Crit bottom, so he probably assumed they had, a little bit of time. But this is not necessarily the way that I thought he would play it, given the picks.
I mean, at the same time, could there be some kind of mentality in going to the jungle so Jerax is tempted to come and slow you down and then free up the other lanes to make them a little bit safer for your teammates and just kind of sack your position on the Axe, or is that just not the way you want to be playing it?
Oh, I mean, that is definitely a valid point, and making the Ricky come to you.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is that, you're not really going to be able to harass the Axe as much as you are just soaking his EXP. Because if you walk in and he gets a couple of lucky helixes, you're losing way more health than he will. So it's a bit tricky. But sometimes when you have a jungler, Ricky was commonly seen as that hero who just sits on top of you and prevents your early game from getting out of control. And I figured that's the way that Jerax would want to play it, but given the circumstances, Universe has already made his way back to bottom and then straight back to the jungle. And he's just going to continue farming away.
Yeah, and it's kind of worked really nicely against Jerax, because Jerax did come up into the jungle, was waiting around to see if Universe TP back in, and, as you said, Universe kind of just playing one step ahead of Jerax, keeping himself away from the Ricky. Talking about the Ricky, look towards Arteezy, very, very low. On the silence, they'll turn around, give up a few bunches back to Jerax, just roll across from Crit. Has the dust, they'll look now to chase down Jerax on the Ricky. He's going to try for the TP out. He won't make it, though, as EG are able to bring him down, and Arteezy gets the final touch onto him, so money into the pocket of the Morphling.
Man, that was so close.
Mid lane, Anna and Fly trying to look for a goal on Samael. He's yet to skill the Timber Chain. He has got 2 points in that aura. 4 stacks of the poison, though. Indeed, that's going to be a hell of a punch.
Yeah,
make that
dead.
5. Fly cleans him up. So a kill happens top, but again, OG quick to move in, knowing that EG have put a lot of resources up towards getting that kill on the top lane.
Can we just talk about how Shadow Demon is ridiculous and how Shadow Poison should probably not do 600 damage at 3 minutes into the game? I mean, I don't know about you, but I just feel like that's a little bit ridiculous that he can do that. Although I suppose you could argue that it does take a very long time to be able to get 5 stacks.
What a hero.
But yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. But, Universe still having his little bit of a quiet early game. He's still getting all the farm that he needs, though. He's already level 5. And, the faster he gets his Blink Dagger, the more impact he's going to be able to have in the game. And if he plays anything like he did in Game 2, I'm expecting some pretty big things out of him.
Oh, denied. Crit was looking for the rune there, but Jerax, being the sneaky little man he is, hanging around. Gets a few fair punches onto Crit as well, backing him off. But yeah, as you said, you know, Universe on the side of EG, he's getting stuff done. So a hero that player we haven't really talked about too much recently is S4 up at the top lane. Looking at he's getting the levels. Of course, not getting nearly as much farm as the Axe because S4 has just been staying in lane. But he's certainly not been killed. You know, EG haven't really got the tools between the two of them to take down the Magnus unless S4's massively out of position. Or unless if Crit's able to come up and hit a good few spells. But at the moment, S4 just feeling confident enough to interrupt with the pulls, get himself stuck in, and find as much as he can from this offlane.
I mean, the other thing too is if he's ever out of mana, you just have to be, you know, if you're a support, you need to be constantly checking and seeing if he has enough for skewer and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I think that one roll without skewer mana would probably kill him at this current state. You just tether the more flames so he can get in range to wait for him and he just dies. But you know, middle lane too, the matchup, it's pretty freaking even. I would have expected actually that.
Oh, they got him.
See you later.
Yeah, they chased him down. Actually, didn't use the skewer there. That was an initiation from Crit. Looks like it was
he might have assumed that they would have lost vision.
Yeah, maybe he was worried about
spirits.
kind of clearing the tree line. Yeah. I mean, it was very close. It was yeah, literally the last touch did it. They didn't have that last hit. S4 could have survived for it.
Bottom lane as well.
Yeah, going in straight away onto Crit. He hangs around, the smoke screen's there, and OG find themselves the Earth Spirit, and they should find themselves this tier 1 as well. Very hard for the side of EG to come in and stop. Notel has got the level 6. Universe is playing around with the idea, but Fly's got eyes on him. The Universe has to be careful. Obviously a hard kill for OG to get, even with an Omni Slash. The Berserker is going to be there to negate a fair bit of the physical. But Fly still wants to try and make a go for it by the looks of it. He's eyeing it up. There's the disruption. Notel coming in. There's no creep, so he's going to get a good amount of Omnis off, but he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. Universe is too tanky, too far back. Notel's going to just keep himself cool and play it back. Play it away from Universe.
And there's no reason to go for the over-aggressive play. I mean, the biggest thing for OG is if they can get towers in the early game, like abuse the Juggernaut healing ward and whatnot, you know, Notel getting some levels. Oh, he's looking for the root.
He wants this Omni. He's found Crit. Crit's going to go for the roll away, but in fact, yeah, they get the slashes off. One onto Zai, two onto Crit now with the Blade Fury to follow through. At the same time, Samael is trying to bring Jarax down low. Notel, he could be the first to fall. He is incredibly low, drops the healing ward out, trying to walk it out with a dunk. It's there from Universe. They find the kill onto Notel. They did lose Crit for it, but they'll take that trade, especially if they can find more. Zai tethering onto Universe. He's continued to chase, and Universe looking to continue the caliber of gameplay he was able to show us in Game 2. Fly's going to pull Jax, looking to pick off Zai. Sunstrike from Ana is there. Universe hasn't got the call, but Crit, can he do it? Yes, he can! The dunk from Universe to finish it off, and Universe picks himself up another in that engagement. All things going exactly how the Axe wants to. This kind of action that Axe just kind of thrives on, and Universe is constantly in the right place at the right time to clean up.
Man, that was such a weird engagement. They started off by like going for this wraparound on mid. I think Notail wanted to kill Crit before he was able to roll in, but unfortunately Omni Slash doesn't mini stun anymore. So instead of canceling the roll, he gets dragged into this really awkward position where he's standing between Crit and Zai, splits up his Omni, and even with the cold snap, you know, constantly going off, they weren't able to kill Crit fast enough, and then because he had already used all of his spells, he's a very easy target for EG to just straight up kill. That did not go anywhere near as well as OG wanted it to.
Jarax, he's going to play around with Samael. He has got Fly coming over. Disruptions are set up. What kind of follow through have they got? They've got a Sunstrike, Soul Catcher. It's a fair bit. Not quite enough. Fly trying to get the poison stacks down. Samael can live through this one. Another smoke screen's being chopped. Ana coming across. Hasn't got anything to throw down at the moment. And Zai relocating in just in case OG went in deep. Samael is going to be fine. Zai just making sure that OG don't get too over aggressive again. 5 for 5. 8.5 minutes in. Farm for both of the safe laners is looking good. Arteezy, he's having a very, very good start. He hasn't been slowed down much at all. And the top of the CS, but Notel very, very close behind him this game.
Yeah, I think in terms of like objective gaming and whatnot, I think OG need to be a little bit more proactive instead of just like doing the AFK farming thing. Like you got double forward spirits, you got level 2 healing ward, you can look to pressure. You don't have to wait for EG to hit their timings and come to you. I think they're just a little bit gun shy after about, you know, what happened middle lane. That was That was pretty much a disaster in regards to what they committed and what they actually got out of the fight.
Midline, still Anna and Samel trading the farm. Anna slightly ahead, of course, with that Midas. And S4, how is he doing on the money front? Well, he's hit level 6 and does have about 700, so a third of the way nearly towards Blink Dagger. And of course, one of the things that we're really relying on for the side of OG to pull off these team fights. At the same time, you know, he's got to deal with the fact that Universe, Vanguard complete. He's very much ready to just run into the center, into the crux of these fights, hit these massive calls, and get the dunks off. Take down the squishier members of OG.
Yeah, we saw a very similar build from Velo MVP earlier. But the difference was they actually had the Ancient stacked to a pretty significant degree. This is just a double instead of, like, I think it was like 5 or 6. So his Blink Dagger timing after the Vanguard is not going to be quite as quick as we're used to seeing. But it's still, you know, it's a pretty solid choice. Not really anybody else on AG can kill Ancients anyway, so I think it's more of like an efficiency thing, where being able to kill the Ancients in general for their team is difficult. So just having the item that allows you to do it means you're getting, you know, you're getting more out of the map by having the Vanguard, is one way of thinking of it.
Awesome out, just backing off away from the mid lane, and in fact a smoke from Crit is going to be used to try and kick something off. Maybe well, actually just looking to get the ward down over here, and he should be fine. I mean, OG very close. In fact, a nice Ancient stack. Talking about Ancient stacks, OG certainly had the bigger one going. Crit. Is he going to try something in? Viper spot flies, just walks up to him. Crit! Oh no! He's been caught out, and instantly the D-ward happens. He just kind of hangs around a little bit too long there next to the Ancients, and Fly's allowed to a free walk-in and a free setup.
Yeah, they get pretty much a bonus Ancient, if you want to call it that, just by having the Earth Spirit in the area. And off the back of that, I don't know if they're going to necessarily be able to kill this tower, because Sumail is the first one TPing, and he's got great wave players, so yeah, he'll be enough to deter the side of OG, at least for the moment, or maybe they're just going to kill him.
Demonic Purge, and Notab did have an Omni, but just using it to zone Sumail back. They aren't really able to follow up, and with a TP through from Crit, that push is indeed stopped. Eyes onto S4, RTZ's eye. See if they're able to do anything. S4's coming pretty far out. He has a skewer and he has a TP. Gotta be careful though, RTZ of course has that adaptive strike, so S4, I don't think there's any way he can get out of this one, and he can't. RTZ and Zai punishing the Magnus for his positioning there. Take the kill, and no tell. Eyeing up Sumail. Does have an Omni, but of course on his own he does not have the damage to fight through this this Timber Saw. And Sumail's pretty much able to do whatever he wants there. And 6-6 is a close one. It really is.
I mean, like we talked about during the draft, OG can delay the game just because they have mag and power and they have RP, right? And as soon as the Blink Dagger comes up on S4, that's going to be the tipping point, and when they start feeling very confident being able to take these fights.
Yeah.
But until then, it's just more about, you know, EG having their initiation items online a little bit faster as Universe just picks up his Blink Dagger, and also their teamfight capability just feels a bit stronger until OG have their core items.
You can see both S4 and No-Tail coming around to this half of the map. They've got the vision here, so they'll know immediately if EG start to make a move over to them. So feeling relatively safe with coming out this time. Now the group up, and they have got the smoke on Universe. Yeah, they want to try and do something with this Blink Dagger. We'll see if they can. We saw in Game 2 Universe being able to do something massive with the Blink reveal. We'll see if he's able to do anything similar here in Game 3. Eyes onto Anna. It would be a nice pick. He's got a couple of Forge Spirits around him. That will help for the procs. Universe straight in. They've got him. Everyone on the side of EG coming through to finish it off, and they want to look for more. Sumail comes across. They'll take down Fly. So just with the dust, just in case Jarex was hiding around. Isn't going to be the case, but 2 pickoffs for EG, and the exact play that they needed to pull off there with Universe's Blink Dagger.
I mean, just look at how prepared they were for that, right? Like, look at the warding that they have. They had vision behind the tier 1, and they had vision by their own tier 1, just in case there was a counter gank. I mean, they're even going to take this double Ancient stack away from the side of OG. That was a very well executed and... Oh, No-Tail?
No-Tail? Alright, so that's going to be enough to scare them off. Maybe a little bit worried about Magnus coming across with a skewer and RP. But...
I mean, yeah, but that actually should have been a kill. I feel like they could have just turned around and killed him.
Jarex.
But I understand why they don't.
He's under a sentry. Nice smoke screen and TP, but oh, he jukes it out as well. Oh, Jerax, you slippery little bugger.
If he lives.
I think he does. The cool. Oh, no, the smoke. Oh! Jerax. Oh, there we go. But boy, did he make them work for it.
Man,
Jerax there.
insane.
Creating space. But he can't create space against an already existing universe. And yeah, universe quit to take him down. And 15 minutes into this game, it really is kicking off. This is the game 3 that we wanted. RTC Morphling still in good position. S4, that big time is coming up. Blink Dagger's nearly done on the Magnus.
Once that comes out, I would expect to see them, like, maybe not necessarily go for a straight smoke, but try to make something happen, beta hero. Maybe defend a tier 1 or a tier 2. I think they most likely just let this offline tower go, though. This is very hard to defend if EG want to start trying to push it. And just look at Arteezy's item progression, man. Like, he's got full Lincolns, and he's got the Ghost Scepter, and it's only 15 minutes. Like, he's going to be online very, very soon, and that is a scary thing for OG. Because they don't have anything to defend against E-Blade combos. You just have to hope that, you know, Fly just like instantly disrupts the target. Otherwise, it's either gonna die or be too low to fight.
It's there's certainly timings that both teams have, as you said, in terms of what they need to get done and what they need to be scared of. And we can see Jerax, he's got vision on to crit. Backup's coming, crit. Ah, he's in a lot of trouble there. He is in a lot of trouble. No way he gets out of this one. OG with the 4-man beatdown. Surrounding the Earth Spirit, taking him out. S4, he's got that blink. Pings onto the TP. S4, I think he wants to go for a blink RP, have some teammates TP and maybe try something here. He has to be careful though. Samel's there on the side and he spotted out S4. S4 blinks out just in time, but EG, they get the space that they need to take the tier 1. Bloodstone done on Samel. Bottom lane, bit of a fight coming through. They're looking towards Universe. Bringing the relocate though. EG, Samel turning across. Look at Jerax. He's got the tricks of the trade to duke it out. No tail though. Trying to man fight to get Samel. The drive-by from Artur taking down Jerax. Looks like the rest of OG should be able to get out. Only just. Universe nearly had call back off cooldown to catch out Fly. Top lane, S4 eyeing up Zai. Oh! No TP for you, Sonny Jim. As S4 rips Zai to shreds.
How did OG only lose 1 hero there? That was actually like such a bad engagement from OG. Like the Omni didn't really kill anybody, and then they managed to only lose Jerax. That was super fortunate for them because I feel like they should have at least lost 2 or 3. OG not really going to be able to do anything about this Roche though, after having seen the solo RP on top lane, obviously is to kill the IO. They're just going to go ahead and go for the objective. There are heroes in the area, they probably know that.
Oh, Jerax, go for the plays.
Nah, it's too late.
Boo.
Right idea, just a little bit too slow. It was actually very nicely called there from OG, just understanding that, you know, EG would directly go to the Roche pit. I don't think they saw him pick up the DD, but obviously getting that rune is fortuitous in the situation, realizing that one of OG's biggest teamfight utilities are down.
Yeah,
but this
because
game is,
yeah.
I was gonna say, you know, we talked a lot about Ana in like the first and the second games. This guy has just been quietly farming, man. He's just hitting creeps, and at some point, this wizard's gonna come online, and he's gonna need to do a lot of work for his team because he has just been like silently farming away the entire game.
Well, Jerax eyes on to Samael, and we'll realise that he's fairly far away from his teammates. Can S4 and No-Tail get here in time, though? That's the question. And looks like, yeah, they don't want to quite do it. Yeah, Universe revealing himself as well. As you can see, with a lot of this radiant warnings coming up to the point where it's going to expire, though, so they'll have to look to reclaim some of this vision over EG's half of the map, OG. And they do want to try and do something. S4 has the RP again. See what they can do. Eyes onto Samael. Does he want to blow the RP for this? Yes, he does. Everything being thrown out onto the Timber. He can't deny himself. Actually tries to go for the escape, so they do get the kill. Doesn't end up denying himself, but EG, they want to fight back into this one. Smoke. Got Fly. Jerax making it hard for EG to chase. They're still looking for Fly. Should be able to get the Shadow Demon. It's a Shadow Demon for a Timbersaw. Not really the trade that EG need. E-Blade is done for Arteezy though, so these fights are going to become even harder for OG as Arteezy has that potential to just nuke down one of their heroes at the start of each engagement.
Yeah, that's the... It's 19 minutes in and he has Lincoln's E-Blade. Good lord, that is insanely timed.
Universe gets the Cortex 4. The E-Blade is hit 4 from Arteezy. It's not quite enough damage with the Adaptive Strike though. Oh, and the burst from Samael it is though. S4 out of the game for 40 seconds. EG. They should be able to find a tier 2 in the mid lane. Sunstrike. Not quite. Zai steps it to the left and well, they're going to go in for more. Looking for the tier 3s, forcing out fortification. Yeah, without the Magnus in the game, they feel confident to do this. Grouping up Jax. Drops the smoke screen. Anna just goes in for the cheeky Midas. That's it. They just don't seem to have enough to really hold EG back that well. Universe jumps in, can't quite get the latch onto No-Tail. Light turns around with the Demonic Purge. Universe forced out. That will be enough by the looks of it to push EG away from their high ground. So OG managed to keep the tier 3 intact. S4's back in the game now. And yeah, EG will simply back up. They've got a creep wave moving down across the bottom lane. They'll just look to find a tier 2 instead.
They mitigated that pretty well, OG. After having used, like, what, 2 ultimates? Like, 2 big ultimates on the Timbersaw, and then only losing a support after the fact, and I guess they lost S4 as well. But only losing the 2 heroes. That could have very easily been Rax if they had been a bit careless and lost 1 more hero. So good on them for not getting punished too hard. And that smoke screen is just... It is actually doing more work than I ever would have expected, because when they were going down middle behind the tier 1, or behind the tier 2, the only reason that S4 lived as long as he did is because the Cloud stopped Arteezy from casting Adaptive Strike right after the E-Blade came out, because, you know, he waved forward to do it. And his reaction time was just, like, immediate. Oh my god! And he
I mean, he's gonna die for
it. Whatever, that's a swag play.
That's a hashtag worth.
Yep.
Yeah, Jarek certainly being the annoying bugger that he needs to on the Rookie. Just constantly trying to throw AG off.
We still really just need to see the Invoker do something. Like, when push comes to shove, yeah, you can fall back on your late game with your Juggernaut and your Magnus and just hope that you're going to get that Wombo combo. But, I mean, this Invoker has pretty much only used Sunstrikes. I think I've seen him cold snap a hero 1 time the entire game. I suppose it could just be the way that OG want to play it. Doesn't necessarily require him to do a lot, but a lot of Invoker players still try to do stuff, even if their primary job is to farm. So a lot of the time, like late game, Invoker is still considered really, really strong. And maybe that's just all they care about at this point, because they've just conceded the fact that they haven't been winning the engagements. So maybe they just hold them apart.
Oh, Universe! He's got the claw! Oh! S4 with the RP! The Omni should follow through, but the heals is going to keep EG alive, and in fact they're going to be the ones to look to take the fight. They managed to find S4. It was a pretty RP. It wasn't quite enough to straight up win them the fight at the start, and now Universe coming in with the call on to fly. No-Tail's fallen as well on the side of it all. 3 kills for EG. He tried his best there with that RP, but the fact that, yeah, Zai had the mech, they had the burst heal to counteract that initiation, and the Omni on its own was not enough follow-up. And as you said, yeah, Anna's down bottom, they need that Invoker in these fights. Maybe with an Invoker, they could have cleaned that up, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah. A Meteor and a Deafening would have killed them both. Because there was some power on No-Tail when he was casting Omni, but they need to die in the stun duration. Like, that's the whole point of getting the Mag and the Juggernaut combo. Unfortunately, No-Tail really only has Drum's man time.
Universe, he's found another. Universe Axe making an absolute impact this series. Game 2 and now in Game 3, and arguably this one's even more impressive. He's 5-0-7.
Oh, and he got the clear.
Okay.
Well, it's not looking amazing for OG right now. I really think that if No-Tail had maybe spent his gold on another item, I don't know honestly what he's going to buy at this stage. Like, usually Scotty is the choice because you really want to abuse the Empower as much as you can.
He's going to go Defusal.
He's going to go for the Defusal.
Okay.
But I think if he just had the Defusal during the fight, maybe he would have done a little bit more damage and been able to get a kill. I'm not sure. But he's going all in here. He does not have buyback. I don't know if EG are going to pressure though.
And this is it, because I mean, at this stage, you know, EG, they have the edge, they do have the lead, but breaking high ground against S4 Magnus is going to be hard.
Especially when all your cores are, you know, pretty close range. 2 of them are melee, and then you have a Morph who isn't really known for having the greatest of range. It's only, what, 350? I mean, I've been hit by an Ursa for longer than 350 range, so I'm pretty sure that ain't much.
And they've got to be careful about how they go about doing this. Anna's got the Aghanims, so they really do have the follow-up. They just need Anna to be involved in these fights.
Yeah. They
really, really do. I mean, especially as you said with the build that the progression that Notel's got, he hasn't quite got enough damage on his own really to just do 1 RP, 1 Omni. That's not necessarily going to cut it against EG's lineup, especially if Zai's able to get a heal off with the mech. I'm talking about Zai. Comes onto him from Jarax. Coming around here. S4 with the RP at the ready. But EG just avoiding it, keeping themselves over the right half of the mid lane. So OG can't quite find a jump in, and the smoke will allow S4 to get in this position. Maybe he can look for a counter if EG come across and look to fight this. He's going to stay here at the moment. He's still hidden under the cover. Right onto Samael. It's all about S4's play. He may go for this, but of course it's an Axe illusion. He's keeping it cool. He's keeping it cool. EG. And they're keeping themselves away. I think EG realize what's going on. They're just split up across the map. Of course, whilst this is happening, they're just managing to get so much more done and keep themselves on top. And Universe, he's caught out Anna. Zai brings in RTZ. RTZ and Zai weren't even needed. Universe solo killing the Invoker. The bottom racks are now on the potential of being exposed. Anna does have a buyback. He may need to use it. Actually, well, Universe has been left on his own. Zai opting to re-relocate RTZ out of the bottom lane. But they can't allow Invoker to just be picked off like that. And yeah, as you said, you know, Anna, for being the star player, we've seen him in the other games. This game on his Invoker, the impact is just not felt at all.
Yeah, and the itemization too is why I was kind of confused.
Yeah.
Normally when you buy Yules, you want to fight, because you use the Yules combo to get quick picks. You know, it's really good for killing Timber Saws and Axes and stuff like that. Obviously prior to the Blade Mail coming out on Universe, but he buys those items and then doesn't fight. I'm kind of wondering, like, I mean, I obviously don't know how often he's played Invoker with the team or what his job is supposed to be in a game from a communication standpoint, but if he was just there for, like, any engagement, I feel like it could have been turned.
Oh, OG smoking up. If they can get to this Roche, it's going to take a bit of time for EG to do it. Where's the opening? Watch S4, watch S4, there's 2 in there, there's the RP! Is the smoke of Zai? He's forced out, he's gonna live, the Omni coming through, it's actually just bouncing around Roshan, they've lost S4, they're gonna find the kill, but Jugs able to deny, well, he actually denied it himself, I guess he didn't have a slot for it, but OG now, they've lost 1, are they gonna lose anything else? Universe trying to chase, gets himself forced in, gets the call onto Notel, Notel's down as well, EG they've found 3, they're looking for more as well, Anna caught out, bursted down by RTZ. It's 4 dead on OG, the last remaining survivor being Jarax, but he himself, can he get out? He goes for the TP, they will manage to escape, but OG, as we saw just then, they just couldn't do it. The RP looked good, but I believe it was either Universe or Samael's Force that got Zai out of the danger. All the Omni bounces were on Roche itself. Notel didn't have a slot to pick up the Aegis, so I had to deny it, and it just all fell apart.
Yeah, I just don't feel like he does enough damage yet. And again, it's another case of the Invoker not being, you know, in the right spot at the right time. I feel like he just needs to buy a Blink.
Hey, S4. Going for the skewer. He's trying to play with EG, keep them off the tower. Oh,
okay.
E-Blade, boys. EG looking to take their set of ranks on this bottom lane. Can they do anything about it? S4 20 seconds until the RP. Samael is going to start trying to play with S4 now. In fact, S4 hasn't got the skewer. S4! He's going to go down! He's out! And now with the call onto Notel. There's your buyback from S4. Tricks the trade from Jarax. They're managing to push them back. And in fact, EG unable at the moment to finish off the racks. So OG are holding. Magnetized, going to be annoying for S4. He wants to try and look for the big him. Maybe this is it though. But no.
No buyback.
Anna is out for the count. They're smoking up. They've got an Omni. They've got an RP. S4 needs something huge here. He goes in, but he only catches Zai. It's not the RP that he needed. There's buybacks coming out, but S4's down and out. They've lost Jerax. They're potentially going to lose No-Tail. He comes out with the Omni Sash. He will kill Zai. Right, bringing these guys low as well. TZ tries to go for the nuke, but No-Tail in time with the Blade Fury backs off. They're facing them down. Sumail looking at No-Tail. Anna playing around with him. Now managing to keep EG off these racks, but it's incredibly costly. Finally, the range racks go down. Universe jumps in. The calls there on to fly. The adaptive strike from RTZ brings him down once more. And the racks will fall. Anna looking at Sumail. Tells there as well. Cold Snap holding the Timber Chain. Sumail's down. He's actually going to suicide here. Jerax chasing for more, so they've lost their racks, but OG desperate to try and make EG pay for this one. Looking towards RTZ. Jerax has the defusal. Smoke screen as well. No-Tail. Manta and defusal as well. If they can get a jump on him with the silence, they could kill him. RTZ maybe been a little greedy, and there we have it. The greed could cost him his life, and in fact, it will. RTZ's greed getting punished heavily there. He's down for 75. OG, can they get themselves anything more? Maybe looking over towards Sumail. Spotting him out with this ward. Sumail, he's already starting to retreat. The ping's coming out. No-Tail is going to look for the wraparound. He's got an Invis Rune as well, but the Timber Chain for Sumail is good. Gets himself up to the high ground. They're still going to look to try and lead in and chase this one down, but Sumail with the blink, with the Timber Chain, is incredibly elusive. He's going to hang around for this camp. Maybe this is enough. They need Jerax to get that smoke screen. Oh, he's come back in for the healing creep. That could cost him his life there. Jerax, oh, didn't actually pop the smoke screen. He knows that there's a Yules. It's a hard trap. Now he'll pop the smoke. They jump in. The Sunstrike's there as well, but Zai's there with a backup. The mini relocate to the side, keeping Sumail alive. And now the turnaround Universe tries to jump in with the initiation. Gets the call up onto No-Tail. S4 shoving himself back. Has an RP, but the Battle Hunger is going to make it very hard for him to re-initiate. No-Tail caught out. The dunk's there. Universe godlike. They've taken down No-Tail. He has no buyback. S4, he needs a miraculous RP, but he just can't seem to find the opening for it. Maybe now, but no, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead, and S4, he just has to get himself out. And that itself might not be possible. Skewer and Blink still on cooldown. They've caught out the Magnus. EG, they'll find themselves the team wipe. Jerax has a buyback available, but everyone else does not have that luxury to fall back on. And EG might have just done it there with that fight. Sealed the deal, and may just be able to close out this series against OG.
That was... I mean, as much as we talked about how, you know, Velo's axe like carried MVP in the game earlier, I want to say that Universe's axe is pretty much been the same. And yeah, they're going to tap out. It makes sense. I mean, they were ridiculously far behind at this point. I feel like maybe Anna was relying too much on RP and being able to...
Oh, my game just crashed. Well.
Oh, yeah, right? All right, cool. I thought something happened that I just missed. But
Universe
yeah, he actually did. He not only won the game, but destroyed the universe at the same time or something like that. But he played extremely well, and Anna, I just did not feel his impact at all. Like, all I saw were Sunstrikes. I think I saw like maybe a handful of Cold Snaps, a Meteor here and there, but he just never came to engagements. And I don't know if that was by design, or if that was just because he was relying heavily on being able to high ground defend and just wanted to play, you know, a greedier style of Dota. But it seems like whenever a team gets this hero that can initiate and just create space as much as like a hero like Axe can, that team usually just wins the game by virtue of finding a multitude of picks, and then the enemy team just falls too far behind. I think I've seen it almost every single game today in the MDL where I've seen Axe. So, I don't know, maybe that hero is just OP or something.
I don't want to download, I want to see... There we go. Just trying to get you guys at home the end game. There we go, lads. So yeah. I mean, as you said, that's it. I mean, EG, they're looking good. I mean, Anna, mistakes were made. Maybe did you feel that game? The Invoker.
I just think that if you're gonna buy a Yules, use the Yules to fight. Don't continue to farm. If he just skipped it and just went like, you know, Midas bots, Aghanims, and then went for like Octarine or whatever, then that's fine. But I feel like the way that he itemized and the way that he played the game were just kind of counterintuitive. And also, I feel like he absolutely needed a blink. Because there were a lot of RPs in this game that S4 hit multiple cores with, that they just didn't have enough follow-up damage. And if he had a blink dagger, maybe being in position to get those spells off properly would have resulted in, you know, OG winning the fights. Because even as far behind as they were, Exort Invoker still does an insane amount of damage, and I don't think there was even a single BKB on the side of EG, even at the end of the game.
So there was not. No.
Yeah, so without any BKBs and having RP, there is like no reason why you shouldn't be able to turn at least one engagement. And obviously a lot of that is also due to the fact that Evil Genius has played exceptionally well. Universe was 10-0 and 13. He just put on a clinic on how Axe should be played. But, you know, everyone did their part on AG. And I feel like this time around for OG, regardless of, you know, whatever their game plan was, I didn't think that they played, you know, their up to snuff Dota.
No, yeah. Absolutely. It was just EG, I mean, as well, for them to kind of come around and bring it out like that after how they started in game one was very impressive to see, and things certainly coming together for them as a team. And at the end of that series at OG, definitely some things for them to look back on. Of course, they both move forward, I believe. This is obviously just in terms of the seeding. EG will be, I imagine, in the upper bracket, and this is going to put OG in a bit of a trickier position as they will be knocked down. But EG, NT take the series. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it, I believe, for games today. So thank you very much for watching the MDL LAN coverage here over on Beyond the Summit. We will be back tomorrow with more. Andy, thanks for joining. Any last words for the viewers at home?
Thanks for watching, I suppose, and I look forward to waking up at ungodly hours to continually cast MDL with you.
Thank you very much, Andy. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you bye, Andy. Goodbye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Sound muted. Microphone muted.
Beautiful sounds. I should turn those off. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen.